just finally from me, with the game, with the position that the club are in at the moment, and our questions I'm asking you here today, Graham, and you've got a home game against Barrow on Saturday.
Yeah.
How do you not put more emphasis on that game than any other game, and talk to the players and eradicate that fear? Because there is the pressure on the club to get points and get results. How do you do that?
Well, we talk about it to a certain aspect, but I've been saying since day one, lads, we are what we do. We are what we do. There's so many people around the world that are saying things, and they're great salesmen. They can say this and they can say that, but then in 10 years' time, 5 years' time, have they actually done that? We are what we do. So it's we can't say we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Just go and do it. Just go and do it. And so there's no more pressure on this game than was the last game, or the previous game, because we want to win every single game. There was pressure on us, or I would say, inside us, to win in pre-season, to win the first game of the season, to win against Chelsea 21s, or you can't turn it on and off. Surely you are. I'm saying we trained yesterday, right, and we put it was three teams of 7, and the losing team had to feed the winning team. You should have seen the tackles flying in. What? There was no pressure on that. There was no points. There was no big money on it. It was just a pride of, I don't want to serve him food. And it was just a full commitment, honestly. But there was no fear there. There was no trepidation. If there was a mistake, it was a mistake. That's how we have to play. And I said that to the players. You play like how you train. We have not got an issue. Every other club we play has got an issue, and that's what we're trying. So it's a process that I think there's half a team who have had a real difficult 12, 14 months. Okay, so we accept that, but let's accept our accountability and responsibility of that, and let's try and be better this time. So that's a healing process that goes, and I've had several chats with several individuals of improving their self-esteem, their self-worth, their confidence, and all this. But it doesn't. I'm not David Blaine. Do you know what I mean? He's a magician, isn't he? Or something
There's one for the slightly older.
Yeah. So like Paul Daniels. There's an even older one. So I don't go, here you go, boof, you're a fully confident player. I have to understand what they've been through, what they go. And I've been there as a player, so it doesn't happen overnight. But it happens with persistence, with commitment, with control, emotional control of going, no, what's the end target? I can get there as long as I admit where I am now, and I can take it forward. And that's what we're trying to do. So yes, it was fantastic. The will to win is there by the players, 100%. And I don't have to say anything before the games. I hear the players saying all the right things, 10-3, geeing each other up, talking about the tactical side, everything like that. So I don't have to step in. There's good players in there, good professionals now. But when pressure comes on, that's when you see what you really are. So what we have to show through our actions is that we're willing to take that pressure on and willing to go through that. I'm telling you, once we do that, we will be a team that goes forward and wins games, and each individual will have better careers because they'll be better professionals and better people, I think, even in their home life, by taking on that responsibility and accountability. So I'm not going to say it's going to work in 24 hours. I'm not going to promise that, but hopefully in 3 months' time, it's a point where you go, oh, it might have started then, but it's going to take time to show whether we're right or wrong. You know what I mean? But my life has been in this game for 30 odd years, and I like to think my past thought process has gone, yeah, actually that is the process you have to go through, and but I have to prove myself again. You know what I mean? I've had success at the previous 4 clubs I've managed, but it means nothing to the MK supporters. It doesn't, and I don't expect it to. What they want is to see success for their club, and that's what I'm here for. We all want the same thing, so I won't shy away from my responsibility on it. I won't shy away from the work that we have to do for it, and ultimately, hopefully, whenever I leave this club, wherever that point is, they go, he did a good job for us as a club, and we're ahead of where we were when he took over, which I've done with the previous 4 clubs that I've managed.
Thank you, Graham. Thank you.
Okay.
I suppose one of the in vogue terms in football is style of play, and ultimately for a head coach and manager, style of play is winning a game, sometimes by any means necessary. But how Has your style of play changed over the course of the season so far? Do you think?
Well, what do I think? Yes. What the information, the data, and the stats say? Yes. But people want to see wins. You know what I mean? And I mean this is why I'm here, because my track record says that's what I do. You know, that's why the chairman brought it here. But I do try to understand a club's history, identity, and respect that. So you know, so there's and reference points. So I use stats and data to keep me on track sometimes. You know, or find solutions to problems. So you know, it's like you can see it, but then you go back to the data to see if your opinion or your feeling is right. So I'll do it in games. I can see a player and think he's not running hard, he's being a little bit lazy, and I'll ask Tom Bromley, can I have a look at the iPad? And that verifies that, because sometimes you have to convince the player, no, what I'm seeing is what's happening. Or we do it with analysis, you know, this should have happened or whatever. So I use that to help me in certain aspects. It's not my right, we're doing this right, we're doing this wrong, because I have to take results and human nature into it. But style, you know, I've not struggled with this. I understand. I'm quite a realistic person, as in I know what football is, I know what life is, and I'm not a blagger. You know what I mean? So I know what has kept me in the game for 35 years. It's through winning. So as a player, I help teams win. As a manager, I've helped teams win, and that's why I'm still here in a football kit 35 years later, still trying to win. If I hadn't been winning games as a player or as a manager, I wouldn't be in the game. That's quite black and white. I know that because I see it all the time. But there's you have to understand that the game changes from decade to decade to decade. I did it as a player, so the way I lived my life until 26, 27 was pure old school. There was no sports science involved. I worked hard, I played hard, and I partied hard. Because that was a life, that was a career. But I saw the game was changing, that more sports science was coming into it, this, that, the other. And if I'd have sat there and gone, well, I've always done it this way, I'd have been out of the game at 32, 33. So I changed and I understood where the game was going, and I made myself competitive, and I took on sports science, I took on the modern technology. I knew where the game was going, I foresaw where it was going, and I brought that into my game, and I played till I was 40 and I had more success in the 30s and the 20s because of that ability to change and adapt. So the same as so when I've started managing, there was no talk about style of play or anything like that. When I first went in at Fleetwood, it was like win promotion. That was it. There was never in nearly 3 years anything about that. And we won promotion and took the club up. It was only probably in the last, in fact, no one would said that until I came to this club. But even then, it was a little bit, listen, we need to win, but we have a certain identity. So all me other clubs, it was just win. So what I've tried to do is adapt. So we were winning at the start of the season, and possession stats were, I don't know, around 40%, 42% or something. In the last 4 or 5 games, they made 58, 60%. So we've improved our possession stats, our control of games, our ball retention, our pass accuracy has gone up, our shots has gone up, our expected goals has gone up, our expected goals against has dropped dramatically. So all the indications of style of play, and it's not just style of play, it's actually winning aspects, you know, like expected goals against. So all those metrics have gone up, all of them, apart from our shot accuracy. So that's gone down, which is quite plain when you see the chances that we're creating and not scoring, and our result. So it's a balancing act, certainly here at MK Dons, where you want a bit of both. Every club wants to win, but certain clubs you have to win a certain way. So we're trying to get both if we can, but certainly the stats show that we are dominant in possession for the last 5-6 games since Stockport game, because the Stockport game for me was a line in the sand where I didn't see a team that dominated any spell of that game. In the previous games we'd had really good spells and dramatic drops off, but we still won games this, that, the Stockport game for me was like, no, actually we didn't have any spell where we deserved to win that game. So we made a conscious decision to change. So Oxford was the next game. Played well, did all the things well, won, and we decided to continue along that path. Now, should we have won some of those games we played since then? Definitely, 100%. But we didn't, so I understand that. But the style of play, I think, is, I don't know, it swings from club to club, from game to game, but without a doubt, all those indicators that suggest a style of play, if you looked at them for last month, you would think we were a certain type of team that had a good style of play, that kept the ball, that created lots of chances and didn't give many away.
Injury news. Ash Hunter's obviously been out for a while now. How's he getting on?
Yeah, he was out on the grass, not with us, but with the physios 2-3 days ago. I think he's got a scan later this week, and if that goes okay, he'll be able to join in training, which is great, because we know what he can bring to the team, and it's gone quite quickly actually, the time he's been out, because seeing him out on the grass again yesterday was really positive. So fingers crossed he's back with us. Trying to think who else is.
Matt Durst went up on Saturday, didn't he?
Yeah. No, he's trained this week. So the only one's not is obviously Dean Luton, who's he's going to be out for a couple of weeks. I think that's it. Actually.
Nathan Harness coming in.
Yeah, well, we know. Yeah, Nathan's going to be. That's why we brought Michael Kelly in and have extended his contract till January, because Nathan's going to be out until that time anyway. So Nathan as well.
Just finally on the weekend, Graham, what threats are you expecting Barrow to pose? Have you come across Pete Wild before?
Yeah, I've met him a couple of times. I don't think I've managed against him, to be honest, but I've come against him. He's done an excellent job at Halifax before. That's when I first became aware of him, and then obviously at Barrow. So so look, I would expect. See, every team we faced a motivated team, an organised team with good players in it. The challenge isn't going to change on Saturday. The biggest challenge we have is our own challenge. That's how I see it. It's our own control. It's our own mindset. It's our own mentality. And I want that emotional control and resilience and that courage to go and perform how they can perform. That's our challenge. If we overcome those challenges and don't win, then I'll take that we've took on those challenges and we've actually improved as a team and a group. But I believe if we do that, it gives us a better chance of winning, and that's what we're here to try and do.
Thanks all.